Hello and welcome to Sports Buzz. I'm Tanvi Taneja. In the next half an hour, we'll get you up to speed with all the latest sporting news from across the country and the world. In the show today, updates from all the cricketing action, BWF World Tour Finals starting Wednesday, 2021 FIFA Arab Cup starting in Qatar from today. All the updates from the Ballon d'Or award ceremony from Paris last night, all that and more. But first, let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking at this hour. Indian badminton star PV Sindhu to lead the Indian contingent in the BWF World Tour Finals from Wednesday. Kidambi Srikanth and Lakshya Sen to also open the front in the men's section. Argentinian maestro Lionel Messi clinches Ballon d'Or for the record 7th time, with Bayern Munich's Lewandowski named the best striker on Monday night. Mohamed Salah wins the 19th Golden Foot Award. In cricket, Pakistan beat Bangladesh by 8 wickets in the opening test in Chattogram, Bangladesh. Liton Das makes his maiden ton for Bangladesh, while Hassan Ali and Shaheen Afridi the pick of the Pakistan bowlers with their 5-wicket hauls. And Kiwi Indian origin tailenders Rachin Ravindra and Ajaz Patel deny India the 10th wicket. New Zealand snatches an impossible draw from the jaws of an inevitable defeat against India in the first test match on a turning track in Kanpur. In the first cricket test match at Kanpur between India and New Zealand, the visitors snatched an impossible draw from the jaws of an inevitable defeat on a turning track in Green Park, Kanpur. Chasing the target of 284 runs, the visitors scored 165 for 9 wickets. Latham and William Somerville added 76 runs for the second wicket. Tom Latham was bowled by Ravichandran Ashwin after scoring 52 runs. It was Ashwin's 418 scalp in test wicket. India's spin trio of R. Ashwin, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel helped the hosts stay on top for major part of the final session, but the last wicket stand between Rachin Ravindra and Ajaz Patel earned New Zealand a hard-fought draw in the Kanpur test. So before we go further in the program, let's tell you how India and New Zealand are placed in the head-to-head stats. Well, the both teams have played 24 tests against one another, 24 series. Out of the 24 series played so far, 13 have been won by India, while New Zealand have won only 8. 3 series have ended in a draw. As far as the number of matches are concerned, India and New Zealand have played 62 matches against one another. 21 have been won by India, while New Zealand have managed to win only 13 games and 1 match was abandoned. The remaining 27 games have ended in a draw. So those are the head-to-head stats between India and New Zealand in test series. Still with cricket, openers Abid Ali and Abdullah Shafiq scored individual 50s as Pakistan defeated Bangladesh by 8 wickets in the opening test in Chattogram. The visitors were comfortably placed at 109 for no loss of wickets at stumps on day 4 and lost just 2 wickets on the final day en route to victory. Earlier, Bangladesh struggled at the crease as they set Pakistan a target of 202 runs. Batting first, hosts Bangladesh had put up a first innings total of 330 runs, with Liton Das going on to make his maiden ton and Hassan Ali being the pick of the Pakistan bowlers with his 5-wicket haul. They then bowled Pakistan out for 286 to take a first innings lead of 44 runs. Abid Ali scored a century for Pakistan, while Tajiul Islam picked 7 wickets in the innings. In their second innings, Bangladesh were bowled out for a total of 157 only, with Liton top scoring for the hosts with a knock of 59 and Shaheen Afridi picking 5 wickets for Pakistan. Back home, for the ongoing Under-19 Triangular Series in Kolkata, the All India Junior Selection Committee has named additions and replacements to India A and India B squads. India B fast bowler Vasu Vats suffered an injury and has been ruled out of the tournament. He will now head to the NCA for further management of his injury. Fast bowlers Ravi Kumar from Cricket Association of Bengal and Om Kanabar from Saurashtra Cricket Association have been added to India B, while Rishit Reddy from Hyderabad Cricket Association has been added to India A. Moving to some badminton action now. Indian badminton star PV Sindhu will lead the Indian contingent in the BWF World Tour Finals from Wednesday. Sindhu is the only Indian badminton player to have won this title. Sindhu achieved this feat in the year 2018. Sindhu will start her campaign on Wednesday, where she will take on Denmark's Line Kristoffersen. Apart from Sindhu, Kidambi Shrikant and Lakshya Sen will also open the front in the men's section. So, world number 11, Satvik Sairaj Reddy and Chirag Shetty have qualified for the BWF World Tour Finals starting Wednesday. Satvik Chirag is the first men's doubles pair of the country to play in the last badminton tournament of the year. The duo had reached the semi-finals of the Indonesia Open last. And now let's talk about the game of squash. Top-seeded Team India beat Iraq by 3-0 in the group stage match at the ongoing Asian Team Squash Championships. Indian men are grouped in Pool A with Pakistan, Japan, Philippines, Indonesia and Iraq at the championships, which will go on till 4th of December in Malaysia. On the other hand, Indian women's team too won the first group stage match, defeating Philippines by 3-0. And now let's talk about the much-loved sport of football. Manchester United announced Ralph Rangnick as the club's interim manager until the end of the season. The appointment of the 63-year-old German follows Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's dismissal earlier this month following a 3-year spell as manager in which the club did not win a trophy. Following his 6-month spell in charge, Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role at the club for a further 2 years. While Rangnick is taking the reins for now, with United 8th in the Premier League and 12 points off the lead, a permanent manager is still being sought. And now let's talk about tennis. Indian tennis player Ramkumar Ramanathan will face Louis Wessels in the first round of the Antalya 3 Challenger. Earlier on Sunday, Ramkumar won his maiden singles title at the ATP Challenger tournament in Manama, Bahrain on Sunday, and Ramkumar will now aim to continue the graph of consistency. With the latest title win, Ramkumar will also enter into the top 200. Our best wishes for Ramkumar Ramanathan. And now let's talk about last night in Paris, where Argentinian maestro Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or award for the best player in the world for football for a record-stretching 7th time. Messi added to his 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 15 and 2019 trophies after winning the Copa America for the first time with his country last July. Now, Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo have won 12 of the last 13 editions of the Ballon d'Or, with the exception coming in 2018 when Real Madrid's Croatian midfielder Luka Modric had claimed the prize. Details in our next report.
Argentina's Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or award for the best player in the world for a record-stretching 7th time, beating Robert Lewandowski and Jorginho to lift soccer's most prestigious trophy yet again. The forward added to his 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2015 and 2019 trophies after winning the Copa America for the first time with his country last July.
There is always someone who beats a record. I don't know if it could be beaten or not, but I feel it's really impressive what has been achieved. I'm very happy to win it here in Paris, to try for title wins, to fight on, and as I have recently said regarding Lewandowski, also Salah, that there are many opportunities to show up as a footballer every year. I think that for many years they've been at a spectacular level and they're among the best, and I'm sure they'll be there in the coming year to battle it out for this.
Messi, who joined Paris Saint-Germain on a free transfer from Barcelona during the close season after finishing as La Liga's top scorer with the Spanish club, collected 613 points, with Bayern Munich's Lewandowski named best striker on Monday, getting 580.
This trophy is special. Previously, I've had the feeling that something was missing, that I hadn't fulfilled the objectives of the Argentine national team, something that I was not able to get until June of last year. So it was a very special year for me. This prize also gives me the motivation for this new stage of my life, to start the coming year in the best possible way. In this new stage, in this new club, and regarding my family, my children, they like all of this. There were nerves about whether I would win or not. I enjoy seeing them happy, to enjoy this moment with them. My wife, my father, my siblings, enjoying it a lot, and we will keep it up.
Jorginho, who won the Champions League with Chelsea and the European Championship with Italy, ended up third on 460 ahead of France's Karim Benzema and N'Golo Kante in 4th and 5th places respectively. Chelsea, named Club of the Year, also had keeper Edouard Mendy finishing second in the Yashin Trophy behind Italy's Gianluigi Donnarumma. The women's Ballon d'Or went to Alexia Putellas after the Spain midfielder guided Barcelona to Champions League glory.
Many feelings I have at the moment. I feel privileged to represent so many people with a lot of pride, and this trophy will certainly not be the last for Barcelona. Barcelona have had this great project at the club for women's football, and it is just started. We are going to see more Barcelona players with this Ballon d'Or.
Putellas is the third winner of the Ballon d'Or Feminine after Ada Hegerberg in 2018 and Megan Rapinoe in 2019. There was no ceremony last year due to the coronavirus pandemic. On a good night for Barcelona, 19-year-old Pedri was awarded the Copa Trophy for the best under-21 player.
Yes, I think that Messi indeed helped me a lot in the year that we played together. I think I enjoyed his company, and it's true that I learned a lot from him, inside and outside the field, and he made me a better player.
Barcelona midfielder Pedri, 19, won the Copa Trophy for the best player aged 21, with England internationals Jude Bellingham, Mason Greenwood and Bukayo Saka coming 2nd, 5th and 6th respectively. 14 of the 30 players shortlisted for Ballon d'Or currently play in the Premier League. Sports Desk, DD India.
Congratulations to Lionel Messi and Alexa Putellas for winning the men's and women's Ballon d'Or. Meanwhile, Mohamed Salah won the 19th Golden Foot Award, a trophy which rewards the best player over the age of 28. He succeeds Luka Modric and Cristiano Ronaldo, the last two winners of this coveted trophy. Despite his 17 goals and 7 assists in 18 games this season, his two 2019 Champions League and 2020 Premier League titles, Mohamed Salah finished only 7th in the Ballon d'Or standings, but he received another trophy several hundred kilometers from Paris. The Pharaoh won the 19th edition of this trophy, awarded in Monaco Monday, November 29th, thus registering his line alongside several stars of the football planet, namely Baggio, Nedved, Shevchenko, Ronaldo, Del Piero, Roberto Carlos, Ronaldinho, Totti Jigs, Ibrahimovic, Drogba, Iniesta, Buffon, Casillas, Cavani, Modric and Ronaldo. The prize has the particularity that it can be won once by the same player. The 29-year-old striker was preferred over Messi, Neymar, Benzema, Lewandowski, Pique, Lukaku, Chiellini and Sergio Ramos, other finalists for this award. Now, as Omicron, the new variant of coronavirus, this concerns are spreading everywhere in the world. 13 players at the Portuguese club Belenenses, whose match against Benfica was abandoned on Saturday, have tested positive for the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, accounting for every case currently in the country. A COVID-19 outbreak meant only 9 Belenenses players started against Benfica, with the match called off in the second half when injuries reduced their team to just 6. It has now been confirmed all the 13 players have the Omicron variant, first detected in South Africa last week. Defender Kafu Fete, one of those to have tested positive, recently returned from South Africa, having played for his country during the international break. 44 players and staff are self-isolating, while most of those infected were asymptomatic or had mild symptoms. Belenenses had to field goalkeeper Joao Monteiro in defence during Saturday's match because of absences. Shifting focus back home, speaking on the Government of India's stand, supporting the countries affected in Africa, dealing with the Omicron variant, including by supplies of made in India vaccines. Now, former cricketer Kevin Pietersen, English cricketer Kevin Pietersen, has praised India for its caring spirit. In a tweet, he thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi and appreciated the move. He said, and I quote, "That caring spirit once again shown by India, the most fabulous country with so many warm-hearted people. Thank you once again, Narendra Modi." Hosts Qatar will begin their Arab Cup campaign against Bahrain, hoping to use the tournament as a springboard to success at next year's World Cup. All that and more in our Sports Roundup.
Paris Saint-Germain's Brazil forward Neymar faces 6 to 8 weeks on the sidelines with an ankle sprain sustained in Sunday's 3-1 League One comeback victory at 10-man Saint-Etienne, the French club said in a statement on Monday. The 29-year-old twisted his ankle in the dying seconds of the match after treading on the leg of Saint-Etienne's Iwan Macron, which left him screaming in agony before he was carried off. Neymar was later pictured leaving the Stade Geoffrey Guichard Stadium on crutches. Host Qatar will begin their Arab Cup campaign against Bahrain, hoping to use the tournament as a springboard to success at next year's World Cup. After winning the rights to stage the tournament 10 years ago, Qatar has invested heavily in trying to make their national team more competitive. Recent results against European opposition have been disappointing. 2 draws and 6 defeats, but with games in the Arab Cup on familiar turf in front of sold-out stadiums, Qatar should find the going easier over the next 3 weeks. Lower-ranked opposition Bahrain, Oman and Iraq in their group, and Qatar are favourites to progress. Welsh rugby side Cardiff were unable to leave South Africa as planned after they returned 2 positive COVID-19 cases, with 1 player suspected of being infected with the new variant Omicron. Irish side Munster have also had to remain in Cape Town with 1 positive case so far, but did not say whether their positive test was the new variant. Cardiff Rugby's operations manager Gaffin Cooper said that the 2 unnamed players that have tested positive have been moved to a specialist quarantine hotel in Cape Town. Novak Djokovic is unlikely to play at the Australian Open if rules on COVID-19 vaccinations are not relaxed. The world number 1's father, Srdjan Djokovic, said organizers of the year's first Grand Slam have said that all players will have to be vaccinated to take part. Djokovic has so far declined to disclose whether he is vaccinated, and his father told that governing body Tennis Australia's stance on players being vaccinated was tantamount to blackmail. Earlier this month, Australian Open tournament director Craig Tiley said that he had been speaking to the Djokovic team. The 2021 Australian Open was delayed 3 weeks as regulations at that time meant that everyone after entering the country had to quarantine for 2 weeks. Djokovic himself quarantined at a hotel in Adelaide. England's Ashes preparation took a further blow as the first day of their 4-day intra-squad warm-up match was washed out without a ball being bowled. Only 29 overs were possible across 3 days in England's first warm-up last week because of the rain. More bad weather is forecast for the remainder of their 4-day match in Brisbane. England have no other warm-up matches before the first test begins at the Gabba on 8th of December. Australia are also due to play their only Ashes warm-up, another intra-squad match against Australia A in Brisbane on Wednesday. Lee Elder, a champion of racial justice who in 1975 became the first black man to compete in the Masters, has died at the age of 87. Elder made his historic Masters debut in 1975, but it would be more than a decade later in 1990 before Augusta National, one of the world's most exclusive clubs, would welcome Ron Townsend as its first black member. During his career, Elder won 4 events on the PGA Tour, including the 1974 Monsanto Open, which qualified him for the following year's Masters, and later recorded 8 wins on the PGA Tour Champions. Sports Desk, DD India.
Next in Sports Buzz, if you are a follower of Barcelona, you would agree with me that Barcelona have suffered one of their worst starts in recent history. Now, coach Xavi faces a huge task in restoring Barcelona to glories that they reached when he won 8 La Liga titles and 4 Champions Leagues as part of a celebrated midfield. Now let's take a look at some of the short-term issues that Xavi will have to address quickly so that the team restores its lost glory. Listen in.
Getting the best out of Frankie de Jong. During the last couple of years at Ajax, Frankie de Jong was one of the midfielders in the world. Although he has been influential in Barcelona's squad as well, his greatness has shown through in bits and pieces instead of a consistent pattern. Former managers failed to unlock de Jong's true potential. The failure to achieve consistency under Koeman was critical since the duo have worked together successfully with the Dutch national team. In Xavi, de Jong will only find a strong reference point but a great mentor as well. Who better to get the best out of him at Barcelona than one of the greatest midfielder in the history of football? One can surely hope. Revamping the fitness of his players. This is one of the areas where work has already begun, although it might take some time to reflect on the results. Over the past few years, Barcelona's squad has suffered a lot of muscular injuries and relapses. The career of Ousmane Dembele, Ansu Fati and even quite recently Pedri have been affected by it. The same has also deprived the team of resources during the key moments in the season. Following Xavi's appointment, Barcelona have already sacked several members of the fitness and medical team. Revive the careers of Barca star signing. 3 managers have failed at it so far, and the onus is now on Xavi to revive the stagnated careers of Barcelona's once blockbuster signing Philippe Coutinho and Ousmane Dembele. The Catalan club spent lavishly on bringing these 2 players to Camp Nou, and it has been nothing but a massive letdown since then. While Dembele has been consistently plagued by injury issues, Coutinho has become a shadow of the player who once dominated the Premier League with Liverpool. Plugging the holes in defense. If Barcelona want to get back on track in the league this season, Xavi will have to find a way to plug holes in their leaky defense. The Catalan side has conceded 15 goals in 12 games this season already, and the absence of Ronald Araujo has only made matters worse. Clement Lenglet and Samuel Umtiti have severely regressed as footballers, and Barcelona will be looking for an exodus for them soon. At his worst, Gerard Piqué has looked like a second division player. At his best, he has been erratic. While ideally the club should look for cheap defensive solutions in winter market, Xavi must get the best out of his player over the next month and a half. Sports Desk, DD India.
Still with football, after appending the soccer establishment by winning the right to host the World Cup 2022 FIFA World Cup, Qatar's preparations are now heading into overdrive with rush to welcome more than 1 million fans. The tiny Gulf state has a reputation for punching above its weight, but challenges do not come much bigger than holding soccer's showpiece event in a desert peninsula of 2.8 million people without a sporting tradition, strong sporting tradition. More than 35,000 people applied to be a volunteer, with those chosen helping fans, players and media at the tournament. And to boost their morale, members of the Qatari national soccer team took time out from their preparations for the Arab Cup to hold a training session with the tournament volunteers. More in this report.
Member of the Qatari national soccer team took time out from their preparations for the Arab Cup to hold a training session with the tournament volunteers. The 16-team competition run over the next 3 weeks and is a dress rehearsal for next year's World Cup, which will take place in the Middle East for the first time.
I think this is a nice experience to be participating in the Arab Cup, and it's going to be in the same facilities as the World Cup, and it's going to be a nice experience also to be ready for the World Cup.
Qatar has spent the last decade preparing for one of the biggest events in the world, building state-of-the-art stadiums and commissioning infrastructure projects worth billions of dollars.
I would really recommend other people to become volunteers. It's like you learn a lot, you gain a lot, and you also give your skills and what you have, and you meet people from all over the world. It's like a big melting pot, one big happy family.
The 5,000 volunteers for the Arab Cup will be drawn from Qatar's diverse expat populations, with a dozen of nationalities represented, as well as a smaller number of the people coming from overseas.
It was really nice to meet all the Qatar national team players. They were really humble, very nice, and as we are not the perfect players, but we try to play with them, and they were really humble.
More than 35,000 applied to be a volunteer, with those chosen helping fans, players and media at the tournament. which will end on December 18, exactly a year before the World Cup final. Sports Desk, DD India.
And now let's talk about the game of chess. After 3 hard-fought draws, chess titans Magnus Carlsen and Ian Nepomniachtchi will battle it out in the Game 4 of the World Chess Championship. Defending world champion Magnus Carlsen is the highest-ranked player in the history of the sport and is up against the only grandmaster in the world who has a positive head-to-head record against him. Carlsen will have the white pieces in Game 4. So far, analysts have said the level of play is near perfect, making the contest one of the considerable mental stamina and strength show. By the way, November 30th marks Carlsen's 31st birthday. The reigning world champion will be looking to score a full point, but so far it has been Nepomniachtchi who has looked the better prepared of the two. The score is tied 1.5 to 1.5 after 3 games. The match is the best of 14 classical games, and interest has been very high online considering the sport's growing following among the younger generation. So the entire team of Sports Buzz wishes a happy birthday to Magnus Carlsen. That's it in this edition of Sports Buzz. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, with all the sporting action and of course the latest Sports Buzz. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.